Deagle Vardrin stood at the foot of the skull. Its hollow eyes blazed with fire, and molten rivers spilled from its jagged mouth. At the summit waited the throne of ashes, a cursed seat forged by Everath, the Dark Lord of Flame. Legends said the throne granted immense power, but at a cost. Those who sought it never returned. Clutching his sword, Imberthane, Deagle began his climb. The molten rock burned through his boots, and each step was agony. Behind him, the black cradle stretched silent and desolate. Ahead, the roar of flames grew louder, like the voice of the mountain itself. Turn back. The brittle voice echoed through the ash. Deagle froze. From the haze emerged a charred figure, ember-like eyes glowing. Its flesh was cracked, revealing flickers of fire beneath. The throne grants nothing but torment, it rasped. I sat upon it once. Now I burn forever. Deagle tightened his grip on Imberthane. His voice was steady. I have no choice, the figure sneered, ash falling from its ruined face. There is always a choice, it hissed. You've simply chosen wrong. Deagle said nothing. He turned and continued upward. The path grew narrower. Flames licked at the jagged rock, and shadows flickered in the firelight. Then the shadows shifted, forming ghostly figures, spectral watchers wreathed in fire. One figure drifted close, its hollow voice a whisper. We were like you. We sought vengeance, power, salvation, and now we are nothing but ash. Another voice followed, trembling. The throne consumes all. You cannot escape its hunger. Deagle paused. Their words pressed against his resolve, but he remembered his family, their faces burned to ash by Everath's wrath. No power is without cost, he muttered, and I will pay it. The watchers dissolved into embers, leaving him to climb alone. At the summit, the throne of ashes stood within the skull's blazing maw. The jagged black seat pulsed with fiery veins, a thing of both beauty and dread. Upon it sat Everath, the Dark Lord of Flame. His skeletal frame smoldered, his hollow eyes burning with unholy light. You've come to claim my throne, Everath rumbled. His voice was deep, shaking the mountain itself. Deagle raised Imberthane. I've come to end you. Everath laughed, a sound like crackling firewood. You are nothing but kindling for my flames. The fire surged, engulfing Deagle in an inferno. His armor melted, his flesh blackened, but he pushed through the agony. With a roar of defiance, he plunged Imberthane into the Dark Lord's chest. For a moment, the world burned. Then, silence. When the flames subsided, Deagle knelt before the empty throne. His body was broken, his purpose fulfilled. Yet there was no salvation. The throne remained, its curse unbroken, waiting for the next fool to claim it. The skull of Everath returned to silence, its fires smoldering out. Another legend had ended. The cycle would begin again.
The moon hung heavy over the forgotten hills, its pale light casting an eerie glow on the ruins of an ancient shrine. Once a sanctuary for prayer, the shrine now stood in desolation, its altars shattered and its statues worn smooth by the relentless march of time. The air felt heavy, laden with the weight of secrets long buried, as if the world dared not disturb the silence. Through the rubble walked Eridan, the last keeper of the shrine, draped in tattered crimson and gold robes. His every step was accompanied by the soft hum of a floating lantern that glided beside him, glowing with an otherworldly light. Its gentle illumination outlined his gaunt face, a face weathered by years of solitude and burden. The lantern, more than a mere guide, seemed alive, its light pulsing faintly as if in response to his thoughts. Tonight, Eridan moved with purpose, his lantern casting shifting shadows on the crumbling stones as he performed an ancient ritual. His hands traced symbols in the air, and his voice carried low, resonant prayers to the gods who had abandoned their shrine centuries ago. The lantern brightened with each word, its glow reflecting off the cracked runes etched into the shrine's foundation. These runes, fragile yet potent, were the last remnants of a barrier that had once held back the darkness creeping from the hollow veil. But the silence shattered with a deep, guttural growl that echoed through the surrounding forest. Eridan froze, his lantern flaring bright in alarm. The beast of the hollow veil was near, a creature of nightmares, its massive form hidden in the tree-lean, its glowing eyes piercing the gloom. The shrine's faint wards flickered as the lantern trembled, dimming under the weight of the encroaching terror. Eridan stepped forward, his gaze steady, though his heart thundered. He raised the lantern high, its light swelling until it illuminated the entire shrine. The beast emerged, its shadowy form towering over the ruins, a grotesque blend of claws, fangs, and shifting darkness. Without hesitation, Eridan whispered the final incantation, his voice carrying a raw, defiant power. The lantern erupted in radiant light, blinding and pure, as the shrine erupted in a cascade of energy that met the beast's charge. When the light faded, the shrine was silent once more. The beast was gone, its form dissolved into nothingness, but so too was Eridan. All that remained was the glowing lantern, floating gently above the shrine's center. Travelers who stumble upon the ruins speak of a comforting light that guides them through the dark, and some claim to hear faint whispers, a keeper's voice, forever protecting the sacred ground he once walked.
In the heart of the Whispering Vale stood an ancient stone shrine, carved with hundreds of faceless figures. The villagers called it the Shrine of the Veiled One, warning that disturbing it would awaken the cursed spirit trapped within. One stormy night, Lyra, a wandering minstrel, sought shelter at the shrine. As lightning flickered, she noticed a faint outline of a face among the carvings. A soft, eerie voice whispered from the stone, "Give me a face and I will grant you power." Entranced by the promise, Lyra took her carving knife and began etching features into the outline. As she finished, the shrine trembled, and the carved face came alive, its eyes glowing with sinister light. Lyra's reflection disappeared, her features stolen, leaving her faceless. The Veiled One emerged, wearing the face she had crafted. "Thank you," it said. "You shall take my place." The villagers avoided the shrine for weeks, but whispers of strange occurrences spread. Some claimed to hear faint music at night. Others saw shadows moving around the shrine under moonlight. One brave soul ventured near and found Lyra's lute lying on the ground, its strings snapping one by one as though plucked by unseen hands. Over time, travelers passing through the Vale began reporting sightings of a faceless figure roaming the mist, clutching a lute and emitting a soft, mournful tune. The villagers claimed it was Lyra, her soul bound to the shrine's curse, forever wandering in search of the face she had lost. None dared follow the figure, for fear of joining the Veiled One's growing collection of faceless prisoners. Lyra's soul was pulled into the shrine, her figure added to the faceless crowd. By morning, villagers found a new carving and swore they felt the wind hum a mournful tune, a soul forever bound to the Veiled One.
In the heart of the Ebon Hollow, Eric ventured deeper into the cursed forest, determined to confront the demon who had destroyed his village, Kael'gr. The forest was suffocating, its twisted trees casting long, oppressive shadows, and an eerie silence hung in the air. Then, in a clearing, he saw him. Kael'gr sat motionless atop a dead warhorse, its skeletal body collapsed under the weight of time. The once proud creature, now nothing more than a decayed husk. Kael'gr himself was a grotesque sight, no longer the armored knight of legend, but a decayed, skeletal figure with rotting flesh hanging from his bones. His hollow eyes glowed with a sickening blue flame, radiating an aura of pure malice. "You dare approach me, mortal?" Kael'gr's voice was deep and filled with contempt. Eric's anger flared, his grip tightening around his sword. "You destroyed my village. I'm here to make you pay." Kael'gr's decaying lips twisted into a cruel smile. "Your village was nothing. Your people were weak. You are weak." With a snap of his fingers, a dark energy surged through the air, freezing Eric in place. His body was paralyzed, unable to move or escape. Kael'gr's cold laughter echoed through the forest. "Pathetic," Kael'gr sneered, his glowing eyes fixed on Eric. "You thought you could challenge me. The forest is mine. Your soul will join the rest." Kael'gr slowly dismounted from the dead horse, his skeletal feet making no sound on the ground. He moved toward Eric, every step deliberate, the air growing heavier with each passing second. "I have no need for your revenge," Kael'gr continued. "Your death will add to my army, just like the others before you." Eric struggled against the paralyzing magic, his heart pounding in his chest. He could feel the weight of Kael'gr's presence pressing down on him, suffocating him. With a final, mocking glance, Kael'gr turned and mounted the dead horse once more. "You are nothing. The forest does not forget, and neither do I." The dark figure rode off into the shadows, leaving Eric to grapple with the crushing reality of his helplessness, the cursed forest closing in around him. The shadows seemed to warp and twist, as if the forest itself was feeding on his despair. The silence was deafening, but in the stillness, Eric could almost hear the whispers of countless souls trapped within the depths of the forest, their their screams silenced by the oppressive darkness. The weight of his defeat settled heavily on him, and for the first time, Eric feared that he too would become part of Kelger's unholy army.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe Ink Sketch for more art and storytelling content.